Hey there, Marvel fans! Ever wondered what would happen if our favorite mutant heroes were thrown into a zombie apocalypse? Today we're diving deep into the twisted world of the Marvel Zombie Universe to explore just how the X-Men might survive such a nightmare scenario. From Wolverine's healing factor to Professor X's telepathy, the X-Men have some pretty nifty tricks up their sleeves. But would that be enough to fend off hordes of undead and possibly zombified superheroes? Grab some popcorn, sit back, and let's embark on this wild journey together. The Marvel Zombie Universe isn't your typical zombie story. It's a place where even the mightiest heroes aren't safe from the infectious grasp of the undead. How would a team as diverse and powerful as the X-Men navigate this perilous world? Let's find out. First things first, let's get familiar with the Marvel Zombie Universe. Created by writer Robert Kirkman, yes, the same genius behind The Walking Dead, this alternate universe flips the script on our beloved heroes. In this reality, a mysterious virus sweeps across the planet, turning both ordinary people and superhumans into flesh-eating zombies with a twist. They retain their powers and a semblance of their intellect. How did this all begin? It kicked off when a zombified version of the Sentry crash-landed on Earth 2149, quickly spreading the infection among the superhero community. This wasn't just any virus. It was cosmic in origin, making it incredibly potent and nearly impossible to contain. Before long, iconic heroes like Spider-Man, Hulk, and even the Avengers fell victim to the plague. What's particularly terrifying about this universe is that these aren't your slow, shuffling zombies. Nope, they're fast, strategic, and still capable of using their superpowers. Imagine trying to escape a hungry undead Iron Man or a ravenous Scarlet Witch. Yikes! The stakes are incredibly high. And survival isn't just about outpacing the undead, it's about outsmarting beings who were once the world's greatest heroes. The impact on the Marvel Universe was catastrophic. Cities crumbled, civilizations fell, and hope became a scarce commodity. The few surviving heroes and villains had to make tough choices, forming uneasy alliances or going into hiding. In such a grim setting, the X-Men's survival would hinge on more than just their abilities. It would require strategy, unity, and perhaps a bit of luck. Now that we've set the scene, let's talk about the X-Men themselves. This team isn't just a group of superheroes. They're a family of mutants, each with unique powers that could be game changers in a zombie apocalypse. Take Wolverine, for example. With his adamantium claws and regenerative healing factor, he's practically built for survival. He can endure bites, scratches, and even severe injuries without turning into a zombie. Plus, his heightened senses make him an excellent tracker and scout. Then we have Storm, who can control the weather. Imagine using tornadoes to sweep away hordes of zombies, or calling down lightning to fry them from a distance. Her abilities could provide both offensive and defensive advantages, keeping the undead at bay while the team strategizes their next move. Let's not forget about Professor Charles Xavier. As one of the world's most powerful telepaths, he could detect the presence of zombies, or even control their minds if remnants of consciousness remain. This could offer crucial early warnings or allow the X-Men to divert threats without engaging directly. Kitty Pryde, also known as Shadowcat, can phase through solid objects. She could infiltrate buildings, scout for supplies, or help the team escape tight situations with ease. Her phasing ability might even protect her from infection, as the virus may not be able to interact with her phased molecular state. Then there's Colossus, who can transform his body into organic steel. Physical attacks and bites would be useless against him, making him an ideal frontline defender. He could hold off hordes of zombies while the rest of the team positions themselves strategically. The X-Men also have technological resources at their disposal. Located at Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, the X-Mansion is equipped with advanced tech like the Danger Room, Cerebro, and various aircraft. These could be repurposed for defense, surveillance, or evacuation. The Danger Room, for instance, could simulate scenarios to prepare the team for encounters with infected superhumans. The X-Men are no strangers to global threats. They've faced Sentinel invasions, interdimensional beings, and even cosmic entities. Their experience in handling crises could give them a strategic edge in navigating the complexities of a zombie-infested world. The combination of their diverse powers, advanced technology, and strong team dynamics positions the X-Men as formidable survivors. But would that be enough to keep them safe in a universe where even the strongest have fallen? How would the X-Men leverage their abilities to stay one step ahead of the undead? Let's brainstorm some survival strategies they might employ. First off, establishing a secure base is crucial. The X-Mansion, with its fortified structures and hidden facilities, would serve as an initial stronghold. But they might enhance its defenses using their powers. For instance, if Magneto were to join forces with them, he could manipulate metal to create impassable barriers. Meanwhile, Forge could engineer automated defense systems to ward off approaching zombies. Detection is another key factor. With telepaths like Professor X and Jean Grey, the team could set up psychic perimeters to sense incoming threats. This would provide valuable time to prepare or evacuate. Additionally, characters like Emma Frost could use telepathy to shield the group's presence, making them invisible to the hordes. For gathering resources, the X-Men could deploy small teams with specific abilities. Nightcrawler's teleportation allows for quick in-and-out missions to gather supplies. With the added benefit of Kitty Pryde's phasing, they could infiltrate areas that are otherwise inaccessible, minimizing risk. When it comes to dealing with infected superhumans, strategy becomes even more critical. The X-Men might prioritize avoidance over confrontation, using stealth and diversion tactics. If a fight is unavoidable, they could utilize long-range attacks. Cyclops' optic blasts and Storm's weather manipulation could neutralize threats from a distance, reducing the risk of close contact. Communication with other survivor groups is essential. Using Cerebro, the X-Men could locate other mutants or uninfected humans, coordinating efforts for mutual benefit. This network could also help in tracking the movement patterns of zombie hordes, allowing for better planning and mobility. Mental fortitude and morale are just as important as physical survival. The X-Men have always emphasized unity and emotional support. Regular meetings led by Professor X could help team members cope with stress and loss, maintaining a strong group cohesion. They might explore the possibility of a cure. Beast, with his scientific expertise, could research the virus's origins and potential antidotes. Collaborating with other brilliant minds like Reed Richards could accelerate this process. The hope of finding a cure would not only be a strategic move, but also a beacon to keep them going. Lastly, they could create safe zones for other survivors. By expanding their secure perimeter, the X-Men could offer refuge to those in need, building a community that stands stronger together. This aligns with their ethos of protecting both mutant and human lives. In essence, the X-Men's survival would hinge on a combination of their powers, intelligence, and unwavering commitment to teamwork. Their adaptability and resourcefulness would be their greatest assets in navigating the treacherous landscape of the Marvel Zombie universe. But let's not get too comfortable. Survival in this universe is anything but easy. The X-Men would face a myriad of challenges that could jeopardize their chances. One of the most significant threats would be zombified superheroes. Imagine facing an undead Hulk or a zombie Thor wielding Mjolnir. These former allies retain their powers but are driven by an insatiable hunger. The X-Men would need to avoid direct confrontations or find ingenious ways to neutralize such formidable foes. Internal conflicts could also arise. The stress of constant danger might lead to disagreements on leadership, strategy, or priorities. Characters like Wolverine and Cyclops have a history of butting heads, and in a high-stakes environment, such tensions could escalate. Ensuring team unity would be a continuous effort. Then there's the ever-present risk of infection. Despite their abilities, the X-Men aren't invincible. A single bite or scratch could turn a team member into an enemy. This would not only reduce their numbers, but also have a devastating emotional impact. Implementing strict protocols for encounters and medical checks would be essential. Resource scarcity is another hurdle. Food, medicine, and energy supplies would dwindle over time. While some mutants can generate sustenance, like Storm producing fresh water, the team would still need to secure basic necessities. Competing with other survivor groups or scavenging in dangerous territories would be unavoidable. The societal collapse brings out the worst in some people. The X-Men might encounter hostile human factions who distrust or even blame mutants for the apocalypse. Xenophobia and fear could lead to confrontations, forcing the X-Men to defend themselves against both the undead and the living. Psychological toll is a factor that can't be ignored. Witnessing widespread devastation, losing friends, and the constant fight for survival can lead to trauma, depression, or reckless behavior. Supporting one another and addressing mental health would be critical to maintain effectiveness as a team. Lastly, technological failures could impair their operations. If key systems like Cerebro malfunction due to lack of maintenance or energy shortages, the X-Men would lose valuable tools in their survival arsenal. They'd need contingency plans to operate with limited technology. In a world overrun by zombies, no one is an island. The X-Men would likely seek alliances with other surviving groups to bolster their chances. Teaming up with remaining heroes like the Avengers or Fantastic Four could be mutually beneficial. Combining their unique abilities and resources might improve their odds of survival or even finding a cure. Collaborating with Reed Richards, one of the smartest minds in the Marvel Universe, could accelerate scientific breakthroughs. Such alliances wouldn't be without complications. Trust issues might arise, especially if past conflicts or rivalries come into play. Coordinating between groups with different leadership styles and priorities could lead to friction. Clear communication and shared goals would be key to maintaining a productive partnership. Tensions with human survivor groups could present problems. Fear and prejudice against mutants might be exacerbated in a crisis. Some humans might blame mutants for the outbreak or view their powers as a threat. This could lead to hostile encounters, forcing the X-Men to choose between defense and diplomacy. The Brotherhood of Mutants, usually adversaries of the X-Men, might also enter the picture. In dire times, enemies might become uneasy allies against a common foe. But can they trust each other? The X-Men would need to weigh the risks and benefits of such collaborations carefully. Navigating these relationships would require tact and perhaps a bit of compromise. The X-Men's ethos of protecting all life, mutant and human alike, might guide interactions, aiming for unity over division. But alliances could also introduce new threats. Sharing resources and information might make them vulnerable to betrayal or exploitation. Establishing clear boundaries and contingency plans would be essential to safeguard their team. In the end, the X-Men's ability to forge and manage alliances could significantly impact their survival and the broader fight against the zombie apocalypse. It's a delicate balance of trust, cooperation, and vigilance. What could be the possible outcomes of the X-Men's struggle in the Marvel Zombie universe? In a best-case scenario, the X-Men, leveraging their powers and alliances, might discover a cure for the virus. With characters like Beast and potential collaboration with other scientific minds, they could reverse the tide of the apocalypse. This would not only save themselves but possibly restore the world to its former state. Alternatively, they might establish a safe haven, a fortified, self-sustaining community where survivors can rebuild society. Using their abilities, they could protect this enclave from threats, providing a glimmer of hope in a bleak world. On the flip side, a worst-case scenario could see the X-Men being overrun. The loss of key members might cripple the team, leading to their eventual downfall. Internal conflicts or betrayals could hasten this outcome, highlighting the fragility of hope in dire times. There's also the possibility of tough moral choices. What if saving humanity requires sacrificing a team member or making an alliance with a dangerous entity? How far would they go to ensure survival? These hypothetical paths underscore the complex and uncertain nature of surviving in the Marvel Zombie universe. Each decision carries weight, and the outcomes could range from triumphant to tragic. In the end, the X-Men's journey through a zombie-infested world would be a true test of their abilities, teamwork, and resilience. With their unique powers and unbreakable bonds, they stand a fighting chance against overwhelming odds. But survival isn't guaranteed, and the challenges they'd face are as formidable as any they've encountered before. What do you think? Could the X-Men survive the Marvel Zombie universe? How would your favorite mutant fare? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Marvel deep dives. Until next time, stay super.